Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Sunday, May the 6th, and welcome to our video commentary. Well, I'm sure all of you have heard in the news about the bad health of John McCain. He is not in a good situation, and I think it's only a matter of time, probably not too long, before he passes away. And I guess I have to say at the front here that I voted for John McCain in 2008. I had a great deal of pride in voting for John McCain. I always thought of him as a great American, had a great story, you know, the POW. He ran for the House and he was a senator. He ran for president. He was always very tough on national security. In fact, I'm sure all of you remember back in 2007 when a lot of Democrats were bailing out on the Iraq policy that it was John McCain on the Senate floor who, you know, really protected the soldiers in Iraq and who defended President Bush. I always appreciated that. It was also John McCain in 2006 and 2007 who took a very unpopular decision with respect to immigration reform. He fought for immigration reform and really put his political capital on the line, something that a lot of Democrats never did on immigration reform. So this is a man with a great life, a lot of great things to look back at his life. But it's unfortunate that here at the end of his life, some things are coming out that I think would probably be better left unsaid. For example, he's coming out right now in a book or a documentary, and he says he regrets that he picked Sarah Palin. He wishes he had picked Joe Lieberman. Now, I was never a fan of the Palin pick. I just felt that she was not ready for a national ticket. I mean, she had only been governor of Alaska for a couple of years. Alaska actually not a state that a lot of us are in touch with. So, you know, I never really understood the pick. I mean, I understand a lot of people fell in love with Sarah Palin, and I have nothing against Sarah Palin, but I think a different choice would have been better. Going back to those days, I remember a lot of talk about, Mitt Romney was one of the candidates. Mike Huckabee, I think, would have been a very good pick. The governor of Minnesota, whose name I cannot recall right now, would have been a very good pick. So anyway, he picked Sarah Palin. She did actually a very good job as a VP candidate. She ran a great campaign, but in the end, John McCain lost. Had nothing to do with Sarah Palin. I don't think Joe Lieberman would have made the result any different either. He lost, John McCain lost, because in the last 30 days of the campaign, there was a banking crisis that just devastated any Republican nominee. And the way the media was literally in the tank for President Obama, they never really, or at the time Senator Obama, they never really held the Democrats responsible for anything about the banking crisis. There were a lot of Democrat fingerprints on that banking crisis. So anyway, once that banking crisis started, I don't think John McCain had any chance of winning the election. But we do have to remember that at the beginning of October, when before the banking crisis, days before the banking crisis, it was a dead heat at the moment. It was literally a 50-50 election at that moment. As it turned out, I think it ended up something like 53-47, not a landslide, but clearly a defeat. But now we're hearing, for example, also that he doesn't want President Trump to go to the funeral. I mean, I certainly understand his dislike of President Trump, given what at the time Donald Trump said about him. So, I mean, I understand all these things, and I understand all the frustration and all the anger. I just regret that this is coming out at this time as we're near the end of his life. I think it would have been a lot better off had he written the book and maybe published the book later and had this stuff come out after his death. But it's not going to be that way, and unfortunately, we have to go through all of this. But again, I just want to tell you that I've always been a huge fan of John McCain, a man who I've always respected, and a man who I think, whether it was in Vietnam or later on the Senate floor, always stood for what he believed. And that's frankly something you don't see a lot of in our politics. So we wish the best for John McCain, but we know it's probably not going to be enough anymore. I think the end is near, and that's a very sad thing for him. You know, we wish the best for the senator, and of course, we're thinking about his lovely wife and very wonderful family. Thank you for watching. We have all of these on YouTube. We have them on my blog, and we also have them on Twitter. Have a great day, everybody.